Okay, you all good? Let's do it. Hello and welcome to the B2C Lead Generation Podcast. Today, myself and Simon are just going to have a quick conversation to try and answer a simple question about lead generation and to offer some ideas and tips you can hopefully implement in your own work. We hope you find it of value. Welcome back. My name is Daniel Hopewell here with Simon Delaney, and this is episode 28, Vanity Metrics versus Impact Metrics. And as you'll probably infer from the use of the word vain, we're going to disband any pretense of objectivity today. But we're still going to try and keep it educational and hopefully you'll find it interesting. But yeah, this is going to be a short and sweet one. So Simon, let's skip the small talk today and just dive straight in. What are vanity metrics and what are impact metrics?
So I guess the best way to think of it is vanity metrics are things that are relatively easy to acquire. So impressions, clicks, potentially even leads, anything that a bot could create could be fake, that probably shouldn't be measured, that people, you'll see them counting like there's some sort of success behind it, but there's no real tangible results. That's what a vanity metric is.
And comparatively impact metrics, just as well spell it out.
So impact metrics would be judged against the vanity metrics. So stuff that there's like a definite outcome. So there's been a sale, there's some sort of performance-based result. So it could be, I don't know, if you've got like a longer sales cycle. So I don't know, an airline that's collecting leads in winter for summer holidays, but they're measuring the opens and clicks and the engagement of emails to their actual the emails they're sending out, or some other definite outcome that has a positive result, or it could be a negative result so that you could remove it, but then you can make business decisions from it and you can run real stats and reports from it.
I think there's two interesting points to that. I guess the key one is that impact metrics are sort of the end result in a way. If something's actually happened, it's kind of the final stage, I suppose, is the way I think about it. But also, I think you pointed out as well that the vanity one is where I guess more fraud and bots and stuff can lie, because it's kind of like how we were talking about with Dr. Augustine Fu last week. He's saying that people for a long time actually have focused on basically I think he's quite overly focused on the vanity metrics. But just to kind of follow that up, I mean, it's kind of implied that we're saying this in the title, but why should people focus on the impact metrics rather than the vanity ones?
Well, they're real for a start. So the problem with the vanity metrics is that going back to Augustine Fu that you mentioned, his big thing is that bots are creating a lot of the traffic that brands or their agencies are tracking on programmatic exchanges, right? So that's a classic example of a vanity metric. But another one could be that we deal more with is the number of leads. We see it all the time where people are tracking the number of leads and they'll be excited in the morning because they've got, I don't know, 10,000 leads that have arrived. But they don't really mean anything until you turn those leads into some sort of outcome. So that's why it's important, is otherwise you are literally counting numbers that don't mean anything. And so once you realize this is why the whole like quantity versus quality debate is so big. It's not, for me, it's not even a debate. It's just like, there's only one way, right? It's because when you base things on real tangible results, impact metrics, it already decides where your budget's going to go. You already know what to focus on. And the focus is removed from these vanity metrics and just solely focused on what is going to lead to impact metrics. So a sale, a positive outcome, an outcome that a decision can be made on. And that's really why it's important. But it can be difficult, just to go back to this. So it's not always the end outcome, I don't think, because in that example, say you'll buy, so I know plenty of companies, we work with some of them, right, that license Datable. So they have like long tail cycle sales cycles, or they're going for like a particular audience at a particular time, knowing that it's not really going to result in anything for a few months. But what they need to start looking at is the sales that have come off that. It can be difficult if you're looking like 6 months down the line, so you're looking for something a bit more immediate to make sure that your money's going somewhere, right? But you then just need to measure the things that can actually be counted. So it could be, you're collecting email addresses on a form. Stop looking at the number of emails that you're collecting. Look at the engagement of the emails. What's the open rate like? What's the click-through rate like? What's the unsubscribe rate like? What is the engagement of these people? Are they bouncing off the site instantly? Start looking at everything to form an opinion of whether these people have a genuine interest or not. So that would then count as an impact metric, even though the actual sale might not happen for another 6 months.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. You sort of said there, but just to go back to it, when you switch perspective and focus on the different metrics, you inherently will focus on, you'll change what you're doing to achieve those different things. It's like if you can get loads and loads of vanity metrics by doing this certain thing, but actually it's not translating, then you will necessarily switch to a new strategy which achieves the end goal. And I guess to be truly deemed successful in marketing, that's what you want to do. It's the end goal that really matters, not anything else.
I think the point on this as well is that the stuff with vanity metrics is easy to shift, right? Like I could say to you, we're going to run a brand awareness exercise, and what we want is 1 billion impressions on these ads. Just doesn't mean anything. But if you actually focused on the end results, let's say it was we want to generate leads that can then, we're going to make sales from or measure the engagement of email addresses or something. I'm still going to get maybe not 1 billion, but millions of impressions on those ads that I'm going to run. But the difference is I'm putting my money where I can actually see tangible outcomes come out. And that's why if you follow the impact metric, you actually would reduce the number of views on ads because you're just going for stuff that's real, that actually has a positive outcome. Yeah,
for sure. And I guess it is, like you said before, this is just a sort of rephrasing, I suppose, of quality versus quantity debate. But obviously you can get high quality of great quantities, but there is a certain, I don't know what the word is, that there's a give and take to that, but you need to focus on actually getting quality leads. But yeah, that's great. That was episode 28, vanity metrics versus impact metrics. Hopefully you found that interesting and understood why we're really drilling home the need to focus on impact metrics. And if not, message one of us on LinkedIn. We'll happily talk you through it anytime. Thanks for listening to the B2C Lead Generation Podcast. Be sure to hit subscribe to hear more from those at the very cutting edge of the lead gen world.